Fire away.
Yeah, rewinding to Marquette, obviously, I know 12 turnovers isn't necessarily a number you love in normal situations, but against that defense, it's not bad. But I feel like it was better offensively.
Obviously Steven did an incredible job. Having Stevie Mitchell chase him all night and only turn it over one time is a credit to him and the things that he learned coming off that St. John's game to prepare for the Marquette game. But I thought we were just a little bit more sure with our passing and catching, and didn't take as many chances, which you can't do against a Marquette team that's so aggressive like that. So. I think that's the reason we had a chance to win, plain and simple. We turned it over 17, 18 times like we did against St. John's. We were going to be in big trouble.
I know you missed some shots and probably wants back, but is that as healthy as he's looked since he hurt the ankle?
Yeah, I think so. And, hopefully, we have had a couple days off here this week, and we'll go today and then have tomorrow off again. So I think that'll really help him. I have to be really careful with him and Kalk and Jemiah right now because of the amount of minutes they're logging, and Steven's having to do it on both ends of the floor. So it's we're going to have to manage their legs in practice a little bit.
I think you talked about it in Milwaukee a couple of nights ago, but what do you think led you to go on that run
Yeah, I mean there were several things. There was an offensive rebound or two in there. I think there was a run-out turnover for one of those baskets. And then we didn't finish some plays at the rim that we have to finish, and and then when we got open threes, we didn't necessarily knock them down. So it's part of the game. You knew there's going to be a run, and we had our share of runs in that game as well. But that one lasted a little bit too long, and unfortunately, it was a little bit too much for us to get all the way back from.
They're a team that takes you out of your base defensively almost just exclusively because you just can't guard 5 out the way you want to. What did you guys learn about your versatility defensively potentially considering that was the matchup?
Yeah, I mean what we did worked. Stevie was 2 of 9, and one of the other guys we didn't guard I think was 1 of 5 or 6. So they shot the shots we wanted them to take. They took a lot of mid-range, floater range type shots, which Marquette doesn't generally do. So from a defensive perspective, I think it played out about as well as it possibly could for us. We did have to get into some switching because the problem is when you put Kalk on a guard, you're going to get cross-matched a lot in transition. It's hard for him to get matched up because he's chasing an offensive rebound and he's running with their front line players. So that happened on several occasions, so we had to do some switching. And, for the most part, I liked some of the things I saw with that. And, obviously we'll have to build on that as we continue to move forward.
You talked about management. How much more important is that going to be over this next month, starting Saturday for 10 games and a month?
Yeah, we go all the way to February 16th or 17th without another bye. So it's going to be really critical that we're careful with what we do in practice. Now, today's a unique opportunity to work on ourselves, and then we'll get into the prep on Thursday. But we're going to have to watch it, and that's where Jeremy Anderson and Ben McNair come in on making sure that I have the data that I need to make sure if we need to back some of these guys off, we do so. Yeah, I mean every game's important this time of year, and you look at Butler's lost 6 or 7 in a row, but outside of the North Dakota State game, if you look at the rest of them, they played a heck of a schedule. Houston, Wisconsin, Marquette, UConn, Villanova, St. John's. So they've played really good teams, and they've been right there in most of those games. So they've played in some of the games they lost have been very similar to ours, where we're right there and we just can't figure out our way to finish it. But we're going to play a desperate team on Saturday. Regardless of how their game goes tomorrow night. We'll have an electric crowd, and it's a really big game for both teams.
Mac, you guys have been without Pop for a month now. Where do you think that you guys have had to adjust the most, and overall, how do you think you guys have adjusted to not having?
I mean, we're getting there. Obviously, it's not easy, and anybody that watches us play from a ball handling perspective, we're one short. Now, we have to get Fedor a little bit more comfortable in what we're doing. And this week hopefully will help in that regard as well. Coming off a long layover, not really practicing with the top team, and then you get St. John's and Marquette as your first 2 games. That's not an ideal situation. So hopefully this week in practice we can nudge him a little bit more forward, and he can give us a little bit more of that ball handling that we need.
Talked about consistency being the key for Jemiah this season. When you look at the big games he's had, kind of what are the plays that he's making? Like, how is he making an impact on you?
Just simple, like when he simplifies his game, he's a heck of a player. And I was really proud of the way he played against Marquette, not just on the offensive end, but defensively. He had the assignment with Cam for most of the game, and I thought he did a good job of cutting him off and making some of the things that he was doing difficult. And then offensively, for a guy that wasn't a great assist to turnover guy in the past, he's really embraced the role of, making the extra pass to a shooter or finding Kalk inside, and that's been very encouraging to see. So I couldn't be more pleased with Jemiah's progress.
You have a lot of new guys on the team. I know you have Steven and Kalk still, but have you tried to tell them, even though Butler is always green, always whatever, this is still a big East game?
We know. I mean, everybody understands how hard Big East games are. It doesn't matter, who you play or where you play them. If you're not hooked up and you're not ready to go, you're going to get beat, and you have a chance to get beat soundly if you're not ready. So, we prepare for every opponent with the same level of intensity and respect and focus, and that won't change this week.
New Year's resolution, if you have one.
Right now I don't have one. But maybe to avoid the media. That'd be a good one.
Marquette, real quick. Mac was obviously disappointed that you guys lost. I'm sure how you guys were, but I felt like there was some strides taken that could lead to a higher level of play going forward. What did you feel like those were?
The strides.
Yeah.
I think we had a lot of togetherness out there. I think we didn't quit. I think we kept fighting. It was really at no point in the game where I thought we were really going to lose until we actually lost. It was just one of those games where it's just, Kalk went 4 for 11 and Steven goes 1 for 13. What are the odds of that? Guys stepped up. We played well. Besides a few turnovers that we need to clean up, obviously I think the game plan was executed well. I think I was proud of how we played defense, especially since we were switching. We're not usually a switch team. We switched a lot, and guys like Isaac and Jason and guys who usually don't have to guard, people like Cam Jones, the point guard, they switched on and did a pretty good job. I think we did a good job of stopping him and making sure he didn't go off for a crazy game. And ultimately, we gave ourselves a chance to win. And if we get in that situation again, I like our chances knowing that Steven won't go 1 for 13, getting the type of shots he got, and Kalk getting those shots at the rim. I like our chances, so I think we can build on that if we play that same way again.
I know a recall is tough, but down 15 in that building usually turns into a 30-point deficit instead of a 4-point game, 2-point game, 3-point game. How did you guys get yourselves back into it when they made that run?
Like I said, I don't think we ever at any point think like we're going to lose the game, like it's over. We preach togetherness and fighting, and I think we just knew we had to come back and make a run. It's a game of runs at the end of the day. They're going to make runs, we're going to make runs, and ultimately we just got to try to keep fighting.
This will be, you guys have done 5 games since Pop kind of shut things down for the season.
And that's it?
How do you
It seems like it's been forever, yeah.
How do you think you guys have adjusted, and where have you had to adjust the most? I know it's affected you probably a bit more than some people with ball handling.
For me, the most, obviously just being a playmaker. I think I've always been able to pass and be a playmaker. I think I have to do it more now than ever. But like I've said before, it's been a big adjustment for all of us, and I think we're starting to figure out what we have to do to win and what we have to do to be successful. Obviously, we're a different team with Pop with us, and we have to find a kind of different identity. And we're still trying to find it, but I think we're making good strides.
What do you think that identity is? I know you say you're still trying to find it, but
I don't know. Like I said, we're trying new things. Obviously, we've been trying some zones out, some other stuff. We're working on some presses, some type of things. Obviously, we got bigger lineups out there now, so we're just trying to figure out what suits us best. And I don't really know that yet, but we'll see.
That frustration of when you said you're executing the game plan well, but weren't able to get it done, is that kind of fueling you guys into this weekend?
Yeah, definitely. Those type of losses, to me, it kind of hurts more than getting blew out. Just knowing, like, man, we were right there, we should have won, and that was a game that we really could have used. So that'll definitely fuel us. And at the end of the day, it's like we have to pick up these wins now. We unfortunately we let one go away there, and now we have to make a run here.
Especially closing out that first half that you guys weren't able to beat. How
For me personally, I kind of put that on myself. We got up 8. We got some transition. We got some stops, some steals, and me trying to be greedy and in the moment, back tip, got my second foul, and that kind of, changed a little bit. We had to throw in a different lineup and switch it up, and it kind of changed the momentum a little bit. And we, instead of going up 8 into the half, we go down 4, and now we have to crawl back because they're going. So we definitely have to finish halves better. I think as a leader and a senior on this team, I can't do things like that. I have to make sure that I'm putting my team in the best position to win. And I think that's what we're all striving to do, especially the end halves and end games. This was a bye week. I've been relaxing a little bit. I haven't even. It's a work on yourself kind of week, So we'll go watch the film on them and we'll see. Obviously, I've seen a little bit of Butler, but I can't tell you much about them. But obviously, it's the Big East. Everybody's gonna play hard and compete. So we'll see.
How valuable are these bye weeks when you get them? Like, this season's such a grind, and then all of a sudden you get a week to kind of like a few days to work on yourself. What do you focus on?
Most importantly, probably treatment, making sure you get our bodies right and everybody's playing. Obviously, we have certain guys playing a lot of high minutes, so it's valuable to get this time to relax and rest. And it's also valuable for us to work on ourselves, like I said, and do things to help us, not have to worry about always making a game plan for who we're about to play, but actually worried about how we can better Creighton basketball. So I think that's the most important thing about the bye weeks.
Two more. Jemai, you mentioned you guys missed an opportunity to get win at Marquette. How big do you think Saturday is for you guys to get back on track and you have, I think, 3 of the next 4 on the road before you guys enter, I think, the back half of this month, the stretch of like UConn, Marquette, St. John's, all like that, back to back. How big is it to get one on Saturday and in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, it's really big to get one on Saturday. Just to get that win and get us rolling and going. Okay, we got one win under our belt, and just keep chopping wood and keep getting win after win. We're just taking it one day at a time, one game at a time. So starting Saturday will definitely be big.
What have you learned in your career about how to bounce back from a game that was kind of at your fingertips and you just couldn't quite grab it?
I don't know. I think for me, when I get older, you just kind of realize you just take each day as it comes at you. There's no sense in, worrying about something that's already happened. You can look back at it and learn things from it. But if you let something that happened 2 days ago take you out of what you're doing today, you're really not getting as much better as you could. So just taking things day at a time and attacking what you can.
You didn't like that in games too, because things started getting sideways, and then all of a sudden you just started really putting pressure on them, and made it a close game and made it up for grabs at the end. Kind of like what was I doing?
Yeah, it's the same idea in games too. Like especially early in my career, I was really bad at that. I'd make a bad play and I'd be out of the game for the next 5 minutes and not really playing my best. So same deal for games like that. When they go on a little run, they go up like 14 or whatever it was. You can't take yourself out of the game. You guys keep playing, keep doing what we do, and then eventually it's going to even out a little bit, and made it a game toward the end.
How are you feeling right now heading into Saturday?
Feeling good. I think the bye week is always nice to get a little rest, but also nice to work on some things that we need to work on because, once you get in the heart of Big East season, you're just prepping for the next team every single day. So it's been nice to get a little rest and then work on some of our stuff today. So feeling good heading into this.
What are some of those things you noticed going to be working on?
Ball security is always one. I think we've turned the ball over a little bit too much recently. But, besides that, I don't think it's anything really groundbreaking, just fine-tuning a lot of the smaller things or just really fine-tuning what we do in terms of like a system on offense and defense.
So I got to ask Jemai the same thing. All things considered, week off, the loss at Marquette. How big is it for you guys to bounce back on Saturday?
It's huge, just like every single game this year. Margin for error this year is a lot thinner, so we got to attack every day. Like, if we win, we can make tournament. If we lose, we're not in the tournament. It's just taking it like that and, approaching every game with the highest level of intensity.
How do you keep that urgency in mind? You've been on teams that have had that, I'm sure. How do you keep that urgency in mind but not let it become too much of a factor?
I don't know. I think part of it's just being like a competitor when like margin for error is thin and you got to win. Like focus on just the next game and win that next one. You, as a competitor, you kind of thrive in that kind of environment and you don't really let it overwhelm you. You just kind of like, I don't know, just make the next game my best game and focus on that.
The 5 out, they, attack you games, obviously that matchup for base defense. Like, what did you guys learn about yourselves, maybe what you're capable of on that end before in these matchups?
Yeah, I mean, I think this team can. Obviously, we have like a certain defense we like to play, but I don't think like throwing us against a team that's going to make us go out of that's going to throw us off too much. I think we showed we can do different things. Obviously, it wasn't perfect, but it's a step in the right direction that we play a team in March Madness when we need to play a different defense. I think we got confidence that we can throw something else out there and play good defense against it.
Two more. I know you haven't seen this year's Butler team, but they got Telford and Brooks back from last year. What kind of problems do those guys bring?
Yeah, I mean, they were really good last year. Obviously, they got us on our home court last year, so, I mean, they showed us that they can win anywhere. But honestly, we haven't really scouted them too much this week, so I can't tell you too much specific. I just know they got a really good team over there, and we're going to have to be on our A game for them.
How do you feel about playing
And Hinkle, there's too many dead spots on the floor. I'm just kidding. No, it's a really cool arena. It's always fun to go there and play. Their crowd is really good too. It always gets really loud. So yeah, it'll be fun to go there one more time.
Thanks, man.